Hey Gameheads, these days mobile games are all about stunning visuals, especially with Chinese developers pushing graphical boundaries and many gamers prioritizing visuals over gameplay. But in this hyper-fixated, graphically intense market, I still love games that focus purely on gameplay, where fun takes center stage over flashy effects. And one genre that constantly delivers on that front is pixelated games. That's why today we are diving into 10 offline pixelated games of 2025 because good games aren't just about looking pretty. Before we begin though, I want to take a moment to thank these amazing people. You guys make the channel feel alive by commenting, engaging in every post, and being part of the community. Seriously, it means a lot. Now, let's jump right in. First off, we have No Place for Bravery. This heavily Nordic-inspired action RPG is one I've talked about before a while back, and I'm bringing it up again because good games shouldn't be forgotten so easily. The story follows a battle-hardened warrior on a desperate quest to find his kidnapped daughter. Along the way, he faces ruthless enemies and must make choices that, well, let's just say strong choices need to be made. Now, the gameplay focuses heavily on dodge and parry mechanics, and while it had some hiccups at launch, some players felt controls weren't quite mobile friendly. Updates have likely smoothed it out. Likely. It's a great looking game with dozens of areas to explore, intense combat, and a fighting system that feels natural when executed well. No Place for Bravery is a paid game available on both Android and iOS, so if you're into hack and slash RPGs, this one is definitely worth checking out. Next on the list we have School Hero. This action-packed anime-themed beat-em-up throws you into a classic high school brawler scenario. You play as a guy on a mission to rescue his kidnapped girlfriend, anime style, by punching, kicking, and comboing your way through waves of school bullies, gangs, and other tough opponents. The combat, fast, flashy, and super satisfying. It's got that immaculate anime style action that feels just right. Beat-em-up brawlers are pretty rare on mobile, but this one stands out with fluid animation and intense action. And the best part, it's completely free. That alone makes it worth checking out, plus it's fully offline, which is almost unreal. Moving on to the next game, we have Wrestle Quest. This one is basically lost media at this point. If you check Google Play, you won't find it because for some reason, Netflix decided to pull it a while back. But if you know where to look, you can still track it down. At its core, Wrestle Quest is a wrestling meets action RPG where you play as a wrestler fighting to become the greatest of all times. You battle your way through the industry, taking down opponents, building up your hype, and finishing them up with flashy signature moves. If you're into wrestling or just love games with over-the-top gimmick-heavy action, this one will feel very similar. Wrestle Quest is still floating around for Android users, and I'll be dropping a link in the description so you can check it out. Tiny Dangerous Dungeon Remake follows up, and as the name suggests, this is a revamp of the 2015 classic Tiny Dangerous Dungeon. It's an action platformer Metroidvania where you play as Kimmy, a little treasure hunter exploring a now bigger and better dungeon than before. This remake adds color, new mechanics, and a few extra tricks while keeping that old school charm intact. I didn't play the original, so I can't really compare it, but from what I've seen, it looks like a solid little Metroidvania. The boss fights look fun and the combat seems decent. It's got that Game Boy 3DS era nostalgia, which is definitely not a bad thing. Tiny Dangerous Dungeon Remake is available on Android and iOS, and it's a paid game. Next up is Evocreo 2. If you've been around the Play Store long enough, you've probably seen the name Evocreo pop up, a classic monster catching RPG that made waves as one of the few paid mobile exclusives to hit 1 million downloads. Now, after 10 years, it's finally getting a sequel. Like the original, Evocreo 2 is a Pokemon-style game where you catch and train Creos, battle in turn-based RPG fights, and take on various quests across a vast world with different biomes. Each biome has unique monsters and quest lines, giving it that classic adventure feel. One standout feature, there is no level cap. Your creos can evolve indefinitely as long as you have the time and resources to keep training them. I'm personally not the biggest fan of Pokemon style games, but I can definitely see the appeal. With Coromon doing well recently, Evocreo 2 has some strong competition. The game is paid and available on Android and iOS. Jumping out the window with Jump Ultimate Battlestar Mugen. Now, this one isn't technically on the Play Store. It's basically an unofficial mobile version of a classic Nintendo anime fighting game from all the way back in 2006. If you love crossover anime brawlers, this game is basically a hidden gem, or maybe not so hidden considering the number of YouTube videos on it. Jump Ultimate Battlestar Mugen brings characters from multiple shonen animes, letting you battle it out in fast-paced flashy combat. What's even cooler, the developers are still updating it, adding new characters to the roster, which means the action just keeps getting better. I randomly stumbled upon this one while searching for games, and as an anime fan, I can't believe I haven't seen it before. So if you love anime style fighting games with multiple movesets, this is definitely worth checking out. It's available for Android only as far as I know, since it's not on the Play Store. I'll be dropping the link in the description for those who want to try it out. Next up is Turnip Boy Robs a Bank. This action-adventure comedic roguelike is a sequel to the wildly entertaining Turnip Boy Comics Tax Evasion, a game I personally played and thoroughly enjoyed, even though it was way too short. Now, Turnip Boy is back, and this time he's teaming up with a pickled gang to rob the ever-changing botanical bank. As a roguelite, every heist is randomly generated, featuring different enemies, unique challenges, tons of loot, and power-ups to keep things fresh. If this sequel manages to bring back the same chaotic humor and fun gameplay from the first game, you are definitely in for a hilarious ride. Turnip Boy Robs a Bank is available on Android and iOS as a paid game. Let's continue with Dinoblits. This is a town building simulator with a prehistoric twist. You are in charge of dinosaurs. You create a dino chief and lead a growing tribe, expanding across an island filled with diverse biomes and hostile threats. While managing the tribe's jobs and development, you also have to fend off invading forces and make tough decisions to ensure survival. Think Rise of an Empire, but with dinosaurs and the ultimate goal of escaping extinction. Now, you already know I love town building simulators, and the dino aesthetic definitely swept me off my feet, but in a good way. This is an underrated title that deserves more attention, so if you're into city building, strategy, and dinosaurs, this one is to check out. Dinoblits is available on Android and iOS as a paid game. Moving on, we have Arcane Vale. This is a huge open-world Zelda-style action RPG that throws into an expansive world full of adventure. You explore ancient labyrinths packed with treasure, loot, and hidden secrets, while also taking on quests that shape your journey. But it's not just about combat and exploration. The game also features farming, fishing, and engaging NPC interactions, blending life sim elements with its action-packed RPG gameplay. Think Witcher 3 or any big open-world RPG, but condensed into a pixel art masterpiece that fits perfectly on mobile. This one is criminally underrated on the Play Store, but I'll definitely be checking it out. Arcane Vale is available on Android and iOS as a paid game. And finally, we have Hero's Adventure. If you are a manga fan, especially of cultivation story, this one will feel very familiar. You start as a nameless nobody from a small village and work your way to become the martial king, recruiting disciples and building the strongest sect in the world. The game blends classic RPG elements with turn-based combat, and while I typically lean towards action RPGs, I can't deny how beautifully crafted this one is. The art, the world, and the progression system all feel like a mix between Final Fantasy and a cultivation manga brought to life. It is also published by XD Network, the same devs behind Sands of Sauza, so if you play that, you will definitely notice some familiar design elements. Hero's Adventure is available on Android and iOS as a paid game, so if you're into cultivation stories and deep RPGs, this one is one you don't want to miss. And that concludes today's list. Wow, there was a lot of RPGs, But if you enjoyed it, please leave a thumbs up. You can also subscribe to get more interesting content as well as check out other videos on your screen. It's P-Dog speaking. Thanks for watching, and I'm out though.